At this point, we'd been out with Richard for over a week, and we'd gone from knowing nothing about our boat to knowing most of it. In the year leading up to this, we learned a lot about sailing and got a fair amount of boat time in with lessons and charters and time with friends sailing on their boats, but this was different. This was our boat and where we live. There's a ton of information to take in, and we repeated a lot each day so things stuck, and we were getting it. We were getting comfortable with what goes where and why, to quote an old Gene Wilder movie, but we were at the end of our time with Richard. The main goal here was to make sure we were competent to sail this boat, both for ourselves and for the insurance company. We had that covered and got our insurance approval, so now we needed to wrap up everything and head back to the dock to continue getting the rest of the aftermarket work done on the boat. But Richard had one more thing for us. He gave us the silent treatment. Is there anything else that's going to cause a problem? No, should be all right.
'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh.
Let me back up a little. William did go through a lot of knot work with Richard, and by the end of our 10 days, he got to where he could get things done quick and right. After showing his speed skills, we were off. We were heading back out from Dania Beach to go through everything that we covered. This cut is nice and wide open, but 2 tugs followed us out to help a container ship in. I'm still getting used to other boats being this close, and it still makes me uncomfortable. Once we got out, it was time for us to go through all the normal things we do to get sailing. But we needed to act like Richard wasn't there to make sure we absorbed everything we learned. Using the autopilot, we pointed to 0 and got the main up. I talked out a lot here just to make sure I wasn't forgetting anything. We made sure we had the halyard and the winch and the traveler was centered and the main sheet was a little loose, then pulled it up.
Reefs are all the way
The
up.
main halyard that Todd wanted to say.
Main halyard. Did I say sheets?
Yeah.
No. Crappers. Is there anything else that's going to cause a problem? No, should be all right. You're sitting there going, ha ha, you forgot something. No, wait.
I'll just interject if you're breaking something.
Okay.
but-
So we'll...
The main takes a long time to get up. The halyard is 3 times the length of the height of the sail, and as you're pulling it up, you have to make sure the battens and other things don't get caught on the lazy jacks.
Oh, got it! Oh, the hair on my chin. Come on.
How cool was that?
I'm just tired of it with the waves.
That's perfect.
As the main gets closer to the top, you also have to watch for the topping lift and make sure the sail gets on the side that you want it to be on for the sail you're about to do. Of course, I forgot the furling line clutch when pulling out the Genoa. I think I did this every time we pulled the sail out. Every time. I'll learn.
Dang. Every time we've done this, that happens.
You've done it.
It's always you. Just a bunch of wet noodles up there.
Well, you do need a little bit of wind, to move them, so don't feel too bad about that.
Why?
With 6 knots of wind, getting the telltales to go is, a bit of a challenge, but,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep, we didn't have any wins, that was a bummer, but all in all we did fine and felt comfortable reviewing all the things we covered during our time with Richard. We spent several hours reviewing, then went back to Harbortown Marina, where I docked to refuel and then docked at the end of the marina. At this point, Laurent from Just Catamarans came over and grabbed the boat to tuck it way in the back where all the work happens. We have a few things to wrap up before we get out of here for good. Some cabinetry, the internet stuff I'm adding, a washer dryer, and there are about 10 other things on the list. Unfortunately, even after all of that stuff is done, we still won't be done. We're going to have to come back to get our lithium batteries and our helm enclosure. There's some supply problems and they've slowed these things down.
Give space before
By the way, I hope someday I get as comfortable with the boat as Laurent is. He should probably teach a masterclass in docking. With that, we were off to Texas to see family and friends and try and finish getting our house in order. We're going to turn it into a short-term vacation rental and see if that ends up being a way to generate income while we're traveling. We have to get all of our personal stuff packed up and put away, and the list of things just keeps growing. We also managed to do some fun things like hang out with the boys, visit with our dog, shoot guns, drive a fast car,
100.
bowl some 9-pin, and even do a fun event at work.
Is it?
Then we were back off to Florida, and then we were heading out again to the Annapolis Boat Show. But I'll cover some of that next week. In the meantime, let's do some Q&A with William. We've actually received a few questions we'd like to cover. So Debbie asked, she said, she was wondering how things were going to be because of COVID. And then Mr. MPED1 also asked, I hope to purchase a boat in about a year, but I'm very concerned about all of these countries looking down due to COVID. And we're not too concerned about that. You gotta look at the camera.
I'm just watching a school.
No, keep watching the camera.
Oh, you're fighting.
Boy, stop.
fighting.
We're going to places that right now don't seem to have too much red tape to get through for COVID, right? Bahamas has a really clear plan. If we go further, Dominican Republic's open, Puerto Rico, US Virgin Islands. We don't really know where we're going. We know Bahamas for sure, and we've been there already this year, and we know it's a pretty easy process. So we're not too worried, and we'll deal with it as it comes. We'll just go where we can and not go where we can't. Raul and a couple of other people said, you need fire suppression equipment. So we have, how many fire extinguishers do we have on the boat? I think there's more. I think there's like 8. We don't have the fire suppression system in the engine area. That was an option that we weren't sure we needed or not. And we're really careful. We use our gas oven and we're careful when we're using it. We don't need to use anything with open flames like candles or incense or anything like that. So we try to be pretty safe, but we'll keep watching, and if there's something that comes up that we think is useful that we need, then we'll do it. Sprit Fixer said, listening to the list of changes, I wondered if the manufacturer might have done those things for you. I think what they were saying was that the question is generally, why are we doing all these updates and upgrades to the boat? Well, it's kind of like a car. If you want to put some fancy things on it, you do it afterwards. They'll build the car with the basics on it, and
Aftermarket.
you do things aftermarket, and you get things done that way. So you can spend a lot of money, or you can stop and just go sailing and then figure stuff out later. All right, no cheating. You can't look at the questions that I have for you. No, this is a good one. So this is, Jim Miller says, can you walk without stumbling into a male teens room? Major victory. So he's complimenting how clean your room is. Do you think your room is clean?
Yeah.
It's cleaner than our other children. I'll give him that.
Clean is good.
Yeah, minor victories, Will. So anyway, William's room is cleaner than most of our kids, and so that's a good thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Amu Rentiera asks, and this is a question for you, William, the picture of the chicken at the end wasn't his final product, LOOL, completely different when he pulled that piece of chicken out of the fryer.
What?
As a comment for somebody else's video that they put on ours. All right, next question. All right, next question. Joe Dilly asks, should seasons 8 and 9 of The Office really be considered canon without Michael Scott?
No.
No, they shouldn't. All right, good. Let's see. Lady Baller asks, do you think Tony Parker is the most underrated NBA point guard of all time?
No, not even close.
I mean, that's a fair question, right?
No.
He was the most underrated point guard of all time.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Jojo69420 asks, how excited are you at getting all of this one-on-one
Not at all.
time with
Not
your
at all.
parents?
None. I hate it.
All right. This took a lot of effort to get William on camera to answer these fake questions. Anyway, thanks for, have a seat.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks for all the subscribing. It's been kind of fun watching this go on, and we'll keep on making videos and trying to not be too stupid while we're out there sailing. I should have mentioned that before. We're in Annapolis right now. We're on the campus of the Naval Academy, and it's our first boat show, and we're having a lot of fun at it. We'll have a little bit of that in next week's video, along with a bunch of the updates and changes that we made to the boat post our shakeout cruise. So until then, keep watching and subscribe if you haven't. I guess that's a thing that we're supposed to say, right?
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Post noties.
Okay.
Later.
Wait, you can't leave. We got to finish this up. You got to have a catchphrase, but you can't do the
Laters.
signs.
Laters.
No. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll have another video out next week. Thanks.
Bye.